to the End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom. Hello viewers, thank you very much and God bless you all. Thank you so much. I appreciate you out there. I keep saying that without you guys out there won't be us here. And I want to pray that the Lord will uphold you, keep you, bless you. And may we all not run in vain in the name of Jesus Christ. I uploaded a video yesterday that I tried to analyze the fact that Jeremiah Omoto-Fufeyin has a lot to explain to people. You know, you just have to listen to that video. You just have to watch it. But then before I arrived at that point, there are things I needed to clear. And those are the things that suddenly have come into this case and is a kind of has formed a little hiccups, you know, in the case, in the sense that there was actually an ominous error somewhere, which I'm not going to dwell on. You know, most of you who love the truth would always understand the angle I'm coming from. But those of you who are just, you know, a bit flippant, you just don't want to be very, very straightforward. You just want us to manipulate things and get to a point. You may see me as being disappointing, but it is actually what it is. Listen, I don't see myself actually as a blogger or a vlogger. I see myself more as a preacher. And so I use the errors that is happening in the church to preach, to make my points, get my points across to you guys. And sometimes it doesn't actually matter who caused the error. So in the case of Ruth and Jeremiah, I am a father. I have little children. I have children and I cannot imagine losing any of my own child, any of my children. I cannot imagine that. So I have, or I had, you know, countless number of times stated here how much I empathize with Ruth. Read my words. I didn't say empathized. I am still putting myself in her shoes, putting my wife in her shoes. So I understand exactly what it means, what the woman must have gone through these years. But that she has gone through, or she is going through now, does not completely mean that we should not come out to state the obvious first before we continue to tackle the fact that her son is missing. I have never denied the fact that baby testimony got missed, and he is still missing as we talk now. So that is a known fact, and I have never shifted from that. And I have never said, bring out Ruth, let us crucify Ruth. You see, I just want to react to, or to respond to some of the reactions I got in this place and to explain further what I intended to achieve with that video I did yesterday. If you had listened very well, you would know that at the end of it all, the bulk of the whole game, you know, stops at the corridors of Jeremiah Omoto-Fufeyin, because he is the one that drove Ruth out when he should have helped Ruth. He was the one that was trying to bribe Ruth with 2 million naira, you know, and the question was, what for? Was he using it to close her mouth? What was the 2 million naira for? And these are some of the questions that needed to be asked. So I'll be taking your reactions one after the other. And I hope that you will bear with me as we go along to deal on this matter. So the first one I am taking on is, before I go on, I just want to, you know, I just want to agree. I just want to believe that you will not feel disappointed that or feel offended I wanted to erase the names of the persons, but since it is already in the comment section, the names are there. Those that have pictures, the pictures are there. So since you are bold enough to put it here, I want to believe that you will be okay seeing your response or your comment being, responded to. God bless you. So we're looking at Nkechi Owoshekun. What about Juliet, a co-worker, a worker with Jeremiah who was seen with a woman who approached a crippled Ruth to show them where to buy Indomie? She is relevant in this case, yet nothing has been said about her. Has she left Jeremiah's employment? Now, Nkechi, you made a very valid point, which is actually, I've also been asking myself about this Juliet and about the 18-year-old daughter. And I've been asking myself, not just only Juliet, I've also been asking about the Pastor Ima that spoke in that video. These three persons, if we can get them, this puzzle will actually, be solved, this puzzle. If we can get them and hand them over to the relevant authorities, believe you me, the truth of this matter would have been at least 75% solved. So you are right. You are right. Okay, so from here, we go to Repost 99 TV. He said, I remember the prophet said, how can she send a 2-year-old boy to buy Indomie? Meaning that is initially her first statement in the church before she was advised to retreat. What I heard Ruth say on Berekete was that they said I sent him to go and buy Indomie. And then Berekete Anchor asked, how come you didn't send 13-year-old to go and buy Indomie? Then you are sending a 2-year-old to go and buy Indomie. And Ruth, responded rhetorically that shows that they were lying at that time. So whether, you see, what we are saying here now is not that Ruth did not change her story. She changed her story. But what the interview dealt with was that the man, the pastor, said that he never ever had any such conversation with Ruth. And what I have problem with is this. If we think that Ruth, was gullible and was vulnerable, and that anybody who speaks to her could also manipulate her, which is okay. But why are we not looking in the direction of what somebody said about the woman that was in that hotel with her, who probably, you see, there's a video I will do where Jeremiah was trying to heap up sentiment of pastors being against prophets. So has anybody not also looked at the fact that somebody might have told Ruth in that hotel to say that a certain pastor told her to change her narratives so that it will correlate with Jeremiah's sentiment of pastors being against the prophets? Now, these are the things that we should be looking at. There is no questioning about Ruth's story, either being changed, being manipulated or not. But what we're looking at is how come? How come? And with the way that man spoke, please, if you believe Ruth, even when she came out to change the story slightly, you also have the right to believe this man. There are things that the man said in that interview. I have posted it. That if the man was trying to be defensive, he could go ahead. He could have gone ahead to debunk everything that Ruth said happened in order to make all of Ruth's statements a lie. But he stood on the ones that he knew were truth. And the ones that was not true, he said it never happened. Even the mix-up between the conversation between Maureen and Ruth's father, the man said no, that was not what happened. When it was put to her that some persons from Jeremiah's church came to attack him, the man said no, that never happened. So you look at that kind of a man that he was consistent. Because somebody who is whipping up sympathy could say, yes, so they came to kill me, and Maureen didn't go ahead, didn't pursue that. Probably that was a breakdown of communication, between herself and the father of Ruth. This was, something that was done on phone. And I believe she may have gone back to listen to that aspect of it. So this is what we are looking at. So Anne Shizoba said, this is completely wrong. Maureen mixed the story up. Ruth did not say the pastor Akonde told her to lie to Prof X. She told Prof X that immediately after her child got missing in 2019, this pastor Akonde called her and told her to narrate the story of how the child got missing. After she had done that, the pastor advised her to omit the part of the story where she permitted her children to go with strangers. All right. Now, Dorothy is also echoing the same tone. That's not what Ruth said. She said when the case first happened, because Brickett's family already proved that. I think I'm going to answer this with a video, a voice note of Ruth herself. I want to, this was what I thought to myself. Your line of theory was what I followed also, until I heard Ruth saying that the man even told her not to tell Prof X. So, so what we should be looking at here is not particularly just Ruth. This is where people are getting it wrong. Ruth has been, swaddled. I mean, in the midst of different kinds of voices, there were cacophony of voices. This one speaking to her here, this one speaking to her, and she was domiciled in the camp of a person that has become a suspect. And I learned that she has hands off the case, probably after achieving what she wanted to achieve. In quote, I don't know who she is and who she was. So we shouldn't just be looking at Ruth alone here. We should be looking at what was happening in the hotel room. Who was advising her? Who was telling her things, promising her heaven and earth? Somebody who has never been, in a very good environment for almost all of her lifetime, and she suddenly found herself in a paradise. Found herself in a place some of us can only dream about. And she was there, everything was okay, and she was being given this hope. Just follow our line of advice, your son will come out. I'm just saying, this could be real, this could be it. And so the woman, was seeing it as, let me not offend these people. Did somebody hear when Maureen said that before Ruth spoke to her, she asked the woman, Mommy, is she part of us? Should I tell her? So that tells you the kind of confidence she already reposed on the woman that was with her in the hotel. So this woman can also, anybody that had access to Ruth, who is promising Ruth things that will happen for her, because all that the woman wants is the release of her son. And so if anybody comes around and tells her, Ruth, tell your story this way, tell your story this way, tell your story this way, and like I said something, brethren, Ruth and Jeremiah are the two most important persons in this matter. All of us are strangers into this, okay? We can all only say based on what we think, based on what our, what we have been told. But these are the two principal actors in this case. They are the ones that know the truth. Ruth knows the truth. If she has said everything she knows about the case, Jeremiah knows the truth. All right? So if there is a knowledge that Ruth is having that we don't have, and somebody is trying to help her amplify her hope in that knowledge and is driving her towards a path, don't rule this out, brethren. Don't rule it out. And this is just basically the truth. So we're looking at Marcia Headley, my own very sister. Testimony is missing and must be found. Ruth is weak emotionally in her condition. However, let us not allow this to be a distraction to divert the focus and the pressure on finding the missing baby. I agree with you 100%, but this is not in any way a distraction. For me, it is not. It is not a distraction. What we're trying to do, you see, you cannot cover a vomit. You cover a vomit with mat and lie on it. There is the necessity of clearing the vomit and making the environment very soothing for everyone inhabit or to stay around that environment. So what for me I am trying to do is to piece the pieces together, and from there we can form an opinion. All right. So the testimony, the baby testimony is missing and it should be found. And like I said in my previous videos, that larger part of me believe that testimony is alive. And I don't believe that testimony is Jeremiah's son, like some persons are, trying to opine. But then we must actually, look at these things in various directions as it has to do. Like I explained, a few minutes ago, that we should not just be looking at Ruth being the one lying. Let's look deeper and think of the possibility of somebody trying to influence her to spoil her own story. And at the end of it, when this deed has been done, the person has just shifted, and we are now here, saying other things. God bless you. Double M747. What he could have done was to do everything in his power to find that child, i.e., producing the CCTV and conduct a very serious search on his property. You don't pay people off for their missing child. It looks very suspicious. My brother, you spoke my mind here. And this has been what I've been saying. Had Jeremiah done what he was supposed to have done, we would not be telling these stories. Now, let me tell you something. I was in a crusade last week in Kogi State, Lokoja, Kogi State. And this crusade was held in a stadium. After the crusade, when everybody was going home, I saw a child of about about 5 to 6 years. Now, walking in the crowd, crying. I was moving with a brother, and I said, no, this child is missing his parents. And I heard him. I said, where are you going to? Who are you looking for? He said, my mommy. And I said, where is your mommy? He was pointing towards, a direction that nobody could have found anybody. And I heard the boy. As soon as I heard the boy, a youth ran to him and said, okay, let us start going home. I said, no, I'm not going to release the boy to you. I won't release the child to you. Now, remember that if anything happened to that child there, nobody will hold me responsible. And I tell you the truth, nobody would hold the church responsible. But as a responsible individual who happened to come in the place, that time, I said, no, I will not release this child to you. He said they came from the same area, from the same branch. I said, all right. His father, he mentioned the name of the father. I tried to get the name of the father from the boy. He couldn't mention it clearly. I said, call the father. He called the father. The father was not, responding to his phone. And I said I was going to wait until the father of the child comes so that the child could identify his father with that, my brother. And so we went to the direction of the bus where they wanted to take and return to the far place they came from. I was there. Another man came who appears to me as a pastor and claimed to be an uncle to the child, that he was the brother to the mother of the child. And he wanted to pick the child. Now, when I saw people, milling around and they were calling the boy's name, everybody seems to know the boy, I became a bit comfortable and relaxed. But I was not going to release that child to that man. I took a picture. Me, the boy, and the man who claimed to be his uncle. Now, this is the picture, but I still waited. He called the mother. And when the mother came, I found out that everything was okay. So I released that child to them, and I was satisfied. Now, if anything happens tomorrow, I can easily produce that picture, and that man will be found. There was no CCTV there. But I did what a responsible human being should have done. So now, Jeremiah didn't do this, but he was quick to offer them 2 million naira bribe for what? And people are not just, looking at this other direction. These are the things that if you want to establish the truth, you must actually go through the processes of establishing the truth. Now, I want to answer this Ession Vision. There is, she said, that's not a lie because you didn't ask the man if he said that or not in 2019. Anyone can, okay, that means that if we didn't ask him in 2019, whether he said that, and we're asking him now in 2022, the answer he's given now in 2022 is not right because we didn't ask him then in 2019. And she goes on to say, anyone can say anything when something happens. I want to marry this together with this other version of your comment. Anyways, that's not a lie because just some advice so that people will not blame her at the end, because most of you don't know the meaning of lies. I really don't understand what you're saying here. A lie is a lie. And if, you see, I find it almost confusing with people who goes about calling themselves lovers of truth. But then when something like this happens, hey, let's not be sentimental. Let's not be biased. I don't believe in Jeremiah. I don't believe in so many of them. But I cannot also support a lie because they are involved. And meanwhile, if you have been listening to what I've been saying all this while, I think that would make a lot of sense. So a lie is a lie. Whether it was advised or not, a lie is a lie. We call a lie what it is, calling a spade what a spade is. Calling it exactly what it is makes us free. Now, this other one that you brought, anybody can say anything when something happens. That doesn't mean she is lying. Now, anybody can say anything, but we have been advised. You see, I am a Christian and I am talking to you guys based on that fact that I'm a Christian. I'm not trying to be manipulative. I'm not trying to paint or sugarcoat anything. I just want to lay it bare the way it is. So in this matter, if you have a conscience, you must call a spade a spade. And that is what I'm trying to do. I know it won't go down well with so many people. All right? But it doesn't matter. You see, Jesus said a thing, and so many people hated him for that. Over 5,000 people hated him for that, and they were like, we cannot continue with this guy. But there were those that knew what Jesus was worth and what he stood for, and they stayed around it. Those 5,000 that left, that was where their story ended. But those that continued became part of the new foundation that the Lord Jesus laid. So it is all about the truth. The truth, in most times, doesn't make sense. Like you try to say, I beg, most of you don't make sense at all. Even though that it is a bit insulting, because I found out that some Africans who left this place and traveled to Oyibo man's land, suddenly we begin to look at us at home here as being less human. But my dear, let me just tell you something, that the fact that we are not saying what you want us to say doesn't mean we are not making sense. All right? And that the fact that you are in UK doesn't make any difference. You see, I hope you are in UK and you don't know how those UK people or white people used to lie against persons when something happens. It's not only in UK they do that. They do that in Nigeria here too. Your father can even do that against you. So it has nothing to do with where you are. Or you don't have that experience yet. Even their police officer will put something in your car just to hold something against you. They do it here also in Nigeria. If they know that they are wrong by stopping you for no reason, talk less of someone that lost her child, and you are there saying she is lying. My dear, there is no two ways about it. There are inconsistencies with her stories. And this was why Berekete said the hands of the case. So you cannot, make me say that what is wrong is right. Now, what if tomorrow some overzealous members of Jeremiah's church goes to that pastor to attack him and endanger his life because of this? And if the man did not actually say anything like that, he is in worry. Jeremiah's church is in worry. So what are we saying here? The man has no right to say, I didn't say this. If he didn't say it, and he has accepted the ones that were true, that even has nothing to benefit him at all. He owned up, yes, that took place. So let's just be sincere, about these things. And God bless you. Thank you for your contribution. Elizabeth Sanjian. Elizabeth Sajian. Readers, if one wants to bribe someone, is it not usually done in secret? Okay, let's assume that Jeremiah offered Ruth 2 million as alleged. Couldn't it be in order to compensate her for her loss and not necessarily to bribe her? Now, you don't compensate somebody that is accusing you of stealing her child. I mean, come on. Let's reason like human here. You don't compensate somebody that is accusing you. Somebody is laying that kind of weighty allegation on you. You're talking of compensation. Compensation on what? Did you make her lose the child? You only compensate for something that you took, something that you made someone else lose. All right? Something you were responsible for. Or you are coming on the ground of charity. But that is when you are on a neutral ground, not when somebody is saying you stole my child and you're compensating her for the loss of what? What are we saying here? What are we saying here? If Jeremiah would want to bribe Ruth, don't we think he would do that secretly and not openly, even in the police station, where such would stand against him? Please, let us be logical, not putting sentiments, Now, I want you to understand that somebody that is as powerful as Jeremiah in this country, and they are thinking everywhere, can get away with anything. I don't know about other places, but in this country, someone that is as powerful and as rich, as influential as Jeremiah can get away with just anything. So it could have even been an advice from the police. I'm saying, I'm not sure, but it could also have come from the police. Why not settle this woman so that she can go? So forget about these things that you're saying. It is true. They have not even come out to refute it. You see, what everybody should understand in this matter is that I know you are a supporter of Jeremiah, but let us think of posterity. You see, we should be sensible enough to rather think of posterity. Posterity is more important than prosperity. I hope this answers your question. God bless you, Elizabeth. E.J. Moncha. My brother, one question. Who told you that the pastor is telling the truth? So if a person lies once, it makes all they say a lie. I don't think this is proper reasoning. For a start, I've never said that every other thing Ruth has been saying are lies. I've not said so. You have your conscience and you know that she has contradicted herself. And she contradicted herself in that manner. And I am not just the only person who is saying that she contradicted herself, but I have not said every other thing she is saying is a lie. You don't think it is a proper reasoning? Thank you. Point 2. It has become clear that the 2 million was offered to her, but had the pastor lied and said, no, the money was not offered to her, then you'd definitely call that a lie. There is no sound reasoning here. I don't want to lie. Yeah, you may not want to lie. No sound reasoning again. I take it from you. But then, since the pastor did not lie about it, now are you going to force him to lie? He owned up to this, that he was there. And now since there is no sound reasoning in it, ask yourself, what benefit would it be to the pastor? The pastor that doesn't know Ruth, he didn't know Ruth until her father brought him into the question. And Ruth now, okay, let's even assume that he told Ruth to change her story. And now Ruth has exposed him to the whole world, has endangered his life. Now, and he still had the guts to still say that Jeremiah's camp tried to bribe Ruth. Because a nominal Christian, like some of us who are not just, we're just in church, we don't have even conscience. If he wanted to, he could have said, no, there was nothing like that. So that if there was a pressure on him from Jeremiah's camp, he will use that to pacify them. But he still damned the consequences and said absolutely truth. So why would you want to believe that this one is true and the one he said he never told Ruth that was a lie? I think you are the one that you are not actually reasoning well here. Okay? I listened to Maureen's comment on this clip and I realized that old age doesn't necessarily mean wisdom. I've already responded to you. What evidence do you have that makes you take the pastor's words as absolute truth? Then you tell me what other evidence you have that makes you think that the pastor is not saying the truth. God bless you. So, viewers, God bless all of you. Thank you very much. I just have to take this time to respond to these things. Believe you me, brothers and sisters, some of you are not even as touched as I am. Unfortunately, I cannot reach Ruth. Unfortunately, I don't have her contact. Unfortunately, there is no amount of struggles I put in that may take me to where she is. And even if it gets me to where she is now, she doesn't trust anybody. So I can only put up my voice and add some parts to this that we are saying, and probably it will get to a place. Somebody gave me, an option that I want to explore, and make that phone call and see if there is somebody from the higher echelon of power that can actually stand up for Ruth and ask questions. God bless all of you. Thank you so much. And those of you that I responded to your reactions, I didn't do that because I was offended. No, I just had to explain to you things that you seem to be missing. The truth is that we are looking for baby testimony. Either Ruth is inconsistent with her stories or not, that does not change the fact that her son testimony is still missing. God bless you. I'll be seeing you in the next video shortly. From me to you, shalom.